ABC datasheet is a data collection tool used by carers to gather information and keep track of what happened immediately before the behaviour, the antecedent, what happened, the behaviour, and what occurred immediately following the behaviour, the consequence. This helps to identify any potential relationship between the antecedent and consequence that could be sustaining or stopping that behaviour. The ABC datasheet can be used to collect data about a learner's behaviour of concern. When the target behaviour occurs, the carer will record the date and time followed by the antecedent, which is what happened immediately before the behaviour of concern. This will include a description of what, where, who was involved, and how the behaviour started. Then the carer will record the target behaviour, which will include a description of what the behaviour looked like, the location, the intensity, and the duration. Lastly, the carer will record the consequence, which is what happened immediately after the behaviour of concern, including a description of what happened, what the carer and others did, and if there were any changes in the environment. Some ABC datasheets will ask if the behaviour continued after the consequence. Here, the carer can record a simple yes or no, or add a note if they feel it's needed. One example of when to use an ABC datasheet is if a learner was engaged in throwing items, kicking, and screaming. To collect the data, the carer would record the date and time it occurred. For example, Tuesday the 15th of February at 11:30 a.m. The carer would record the antecedent. Aiden was playing outside. Mum asked him to come inside for lunch. Next, the carer would record the behaviour. Aiden picked up a rock and threw it at the door where Mum was standing, fell on the ground and started kicking his legs and feet while screaming. Lastly, the carer would record the consequence. Mum yelled at Aiden to stop throwing rocks and to stop kicking and screaming, followed by picking him up and carrying him to the kitchen table. If Aiden continued to kick and scream when Mum picked him up to carry him to the table, the carer would record yes in the behaviour continued column. If Aiden stopped kicking and screaming as soon as Mum picked him up, then a no would be recorded. Later that day, Aiden throws a book at Mum. To collect the data, Mum would record the date and time. Tuesday, 15th of February at 2 p.m. Mum would record the antecedent. Aiden was in his room reading a book when Mum told him it was time to leave to go pick up his big sister from school. Next, Mum would record the behaviour. Aiden threw the book at Mum, followed by picking up another book and throwing it, and then laid on the floor, kicking and screaming. Lastly, Mum would record the consequence. Mum yelled at Aiden to not throw his books and to get in the car before they were late picking up his sister, followed by Mum picking him up and carrying him to the car. After a few entries on the ABC datasheet, a pattern may emerge in why and when a target behaviour is occurring. As in the examples above, it may be the transition from one activity to another. Another example is when the learner is hungry or tired, they may be more sensitive to demands or requests being placed on them. Or maybe it's noticed that a learner requires a change to their environment when it comes to self-regulation.